Can you imagine that this beautiful rose is a graph of a polar equation? Let's learn, analyze, and graph rose curves. A rose curve is a graph that is produced from a polar equation in the form of r equals a cosine n theta or r equals a sine n theta, where n is greater than 1 and it's an integer. They are called rose curves because the loops that are formed resemble petals. The value of a will determine the length of petals. The number of petals that are present will depend on the value of n. If n is an even integer, then the rose will have 2n petals. The graph shown r equals a sine 2 theta, where n is equal to 2 and 2 is an even number. So number of petals is 2 times 2 equals to 4. If n is an odd integer, then the rose will have n petals. The graph of r equals a sine 5 theta shown there, n equals 5 and it's an odd number, so number of petals is 5. Rose curve characteristics. The domain is all reals. The range is between negative absolute value of a and absolute value of a, inclusive. All rose curves are continuous. The symmetry. If n is even, then it will be symmetric about x-axis, y-axis, and about the origin. If n is odd, then we have two cases. If r equals a cosine n theta, then it is symmetric about x-axis. If r equals to a sine n theta, then it's symmetric about y-axis. Bounded. The maximum r value is equal to absolute value of a. No asymptotes. The number of petals is equal to n if n is odd and to n if n is even. Example number 1. Plot and analyze the graph of the rose curve r equals to 2 cosine 3 theta. First, fill the table by replacing different values of theta in the equation. Using the table, we will plot the points in each interval as shown below. Using the symmetry of this curve about the x-axis, the graph can be completed as shown. Second, analyze the graph of the rose curve r equals 2 cosine 3 theta. Domain or reals. Range is between negative absolute value of a and absolute value of a. Since a is equal to 2, then our domain is between negative 2 and 2 inclusive. The graph is continuous and it is symmetrical about x-axis. Bounded. The maximum r value is absolute value of a, which is 2. No asymptotes. The number of petals is equal to 3. Since n is 3 and it's an odd number, then number of petals equals to 3. Example number 2. Analyze the graph of the rose curve r equals 3 sine 4 theta. The domain is all reals. The range is between negative 3 and 3 inclusive. Continuous. It is symmetrical about x-axis, y-axis, and about the origin. Bounded. The maximum r value is equal to 3. There is no asymptote, and the number of petals is equal to 2n. Since n is 4 and it's an even number, then 2 by 4 is equal to 8. Thank you.